And so to welcome you to tonight's event will be UT President Greg Fenves. From his earliest days as a UT faculty member and then 20 years spent at UC Berkeley, came back to UT. He was Dean of the Cockrell School of Engineering, then he was Provost, and now he's serving as the 29th President of the University of Texas at Austin. Greg has united faculty and students to research the hard questions that a university of the first class can address. And so a good example of such a hard question is, how can Texas reach the year 2050 while ensuring its own resilience? And this is at the heart of the Planet Texas 2050 initiative. So I'm pleased to bring to the stage President Greg Fenves.
All right, thank you. First of all, let's recognize Jay Banner for Hot Science, Cool Talks and what he's doing. It's so important to bring science to help everybody understand the great issues that we're dealing with. And it's a pleasure to be here tonight in the historic Paramount Theater with all of you this evening. Now, if you look around this incredible auditorium and this building that was built in 1915 and think about the 100-year existence of this technology, the theater is a technology. It has consistently evolved and reflected the change in styles, the change of use, the change in culture, and how people interact with each other. In the earliest days, the Paramount hosted vaudeville shows and magic shows. Then came this newfangled way of entertainment, the silent film. Then came movies with sound, and eventually concerts and other events that it hosts today. It is changes in technology and the changes that people and society interacts with technology. And it's all happened in this same spot in Congress Avenue in Austin, Texas. So the Paramount is timeless, not just because of its age, but because of the way that it has adapted, taken on new meaning for each generation. And its history and its story is just one microcosm, one example that teaches an important lesson, and that is, how do you maintain the core of what you are and who you are, but also evolve and adapt to remain relevant for your time and to be prepared for the future. That lesson applies to each of us. It applies to our families. It applies to the businesses we work at. It applies to us at the University of Texas, to education, and it applies to life. And it certainly applies to the great state of Texas. So it's only fitting that we are here tonight to mark the beginning of UT's Planet Texas 2050. And as Jay mentioned in the brief introduction, our goal is through research, through better understanding, through new knowledge, to build a clear way and a clear picture of what the future of Texas will look like and what it can be environmentally, economically, and demographically, so that we as a society and we as a state can prepare, adapt, and also thrive. Now, this research initiative is led by our Vice President for Research, Dan Jaffe, and it draws upon the expertise of a wide range of University of Texas faculty, staff, and our great students, from the Jackson School of Geosciences, the Environmental Science Institute, the Bureau of Economic Geology, School of Architecture, College of Liberal Arts, the Cockrell School of Engineering, and the new Dell Medical School, and 9 other academic units at our university. The challenge is great, and we need these experts from all these different fields to think and to work together and to develop that knowledge for the population growth of the state. Now, more people are moving to Texas than ever. We were just talking about Austin. In 2015, 550,000 new people moved to the state of Texas. That's larger than the population of most cities in the United States. And that's 1,500 new residents of the state every single day. And they're coming here for many reasons, many of them for jobs, the quality of life in Texas that defines our state. And they will help grow businesses, push the economy forward, add to our culture, and contribute to society. But as the state continues to grow and grow more as urban areas, our resources will be put under more and more pressure, even more than they are today. And if you couple this stress with the inevitable changes by the change in climate and the vulnerability of this state to natural disasters, including hurricanes that we've recently experienced and droughts that we have experienced and will continue to experience, the challenge for future Texans and those who will move here is an immense one. And if we don't start planning now, start using our knowledge and creating the knowledge to be able to adapt, we will miss critical opportunities to prepare and evolve so that we can flourish, our children can flourish, and future generations can flourish. And that's why Planet Texas 2050 is so important, and that's what it is all about, to use research to develop, plan, and grow sustainably over time. The solutions may exist. We may have to figure them out. The potential is there, and it's the potential in the people at the University of Texas and the people of this state. And so now it is time to put them to work in our new initiative, Planet Texas 2050 at the University of Texas. So our panelists tonight will be discussing some of the ways that that can be done to motivate ideas and motivate thoughts as we begin this exciting project at UT. Thank you very much for being here tonight, and I look forward to the program.
Thank you, Greg. Challenges for Texas in 2050. So what are some of these challenges for our state in this century? Well, let's consider climate change and population growth in our state. These will be two of the most forceful drivers of change in the future. What do the best scientific projections show about these drivers? Well, for climate change, they show the best scientific projections show more frequent, more intense, and more extended droughts than we've experienced in the past. They also show more intense and more frequent storms, such as we are beginning now to see. For population growth, the projections are there will be twice as many people in Texas by the year 2070. These are very synergistic and very significant changes. These drivers are going to act together, and they're going to have actually a very big impact on several vital sectors in our world, as shown here. And these arrows indicate that between these sectors that they're very connected and that there are feedbacks, very complex feedbacks, in how they react to stresses from those drivers. So for example, if we look at the energy-water sector connection, we know that in order to make drinkable, clean water and pump it to our homes, it takes quite a bit of energy. On the other hand, any form of energy requires significant amounts of water. So consider those connections and those feedbacks and what will happen as we have twice as many people demanding twice as much water and as climate change produces a very limited availability of water. That's a confluence of challenges our state has to be ready for. So in turn, we must ask how these changes and connections between these sectors, as impacted by the drivers, how they in turn will actually impact a whole set of factors that really could be summed up as our quality of life, as indicated here by these metrics. I think we could sum up this concept mapped here in a few simple ways. We could basically start by saying it's complicated. We could also start by saying it's going to require experts from different disciplines to collaborate and work together to come up with our best understanding and our best solutions. It's one of the most important problems we can imagine facing in our lifetimes, and it's a problem that's not going away anytime soon. And so this concept map was developed by the Planet Texas research team, and what I'd like to do, if we could have the house lights up a little bit, is to show you this team. So you can see how interdisciplinary it is. We go from people contributing from engineering, from English, from architecture, the Department of Classics, health, computing, geosciences, as well as our leaders on the Vice President for Research's team. And I would like to ask every member of this team who's here tonight to stand up and be acknowledged. If we could bring the lights up a little bit to see these scholars stand up.